Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter.
Embracing Father, you grace each of us with equal measure in your love. Let us learn to love our neighbors more deeply so that we can create peaceful and just communities. Inspire us to use our creative energies to build the structures we need to overcome the obstacles of intolerance and indifference. May you provide us the example needed and send the Spirit to warm our hearts for your journey. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas.
Present.
Councilmember Brooke Marcotte. Here. Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter.
Here.
Councilmember Dee Dee Johnson-Reed. Councilmember Dustin Swear.
Thank you. We have any comment cards? Okay, we have no public comment cards, so we will move on to item 2A.
Acceptance of the minutes of June 6th, 2023, which will be published on June 22nd, 2023.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, a second by Councilman Marlon Lewis. Is there any discussion on our minutes of June 6th? Hearing and seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 3A.
Ordinance number 2023-16, an ordinance amending approved budget allocations for American Rescue Plan Act funds received by the City of New Iberia, amendment number 6.
I need a motion to open our public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman David Broussard and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Is there any comment on this item? Hearing and seeing none, I need a motion to close.
Motion.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte and Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Thank you. 3B.
Special ordinance number 2022-2023-23, amendment number 22, an ordinance amending the budget to reflect donation and utilization of funds for Roderick Park benches.
I need a motion to open this public hearing.
Motion. Motion.
That would be Councilman Marlon Lewis and Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Is there any public comment on this item? Motion to close.
Motion.
Motion.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte and a second by Councilman David Broussard. Thank you. 3C.
Special ordinance number 2022-2023-24, amendment number 23, an ordinance amending the budget to reflect moving available funds to Pepperplex for purchase and installation of sign.
I need a motion to open our public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, a second by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Is there any discussion from the public? Seeing none, I need a motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte and Councilman Marlon Lewis. Thank you. And our last public hearing, 3D.
Special ordinance number 2022-2023-25, amendment number 24, an ordinance amending the budget to reflect actual contract for Acadian Acres Detention Pond Project.
Motion to open.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte and Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Any public comment on this last item? Seeing none, I need a motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte, Councilman Marlon Lewis. Thank y'all. Now we move on to 4A, ordinances.
Ordinance number 2022-2023-16, an ordinance amending approved budget allocations for American Rescue Plan Act funds received by the City of New Iberia, amendment number 6.
I need a motion.
Moved.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, and who had the second? Councilman Marlon Lewis, I think. Good. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing and seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you. 4B.
Special ordinance number 2022-2023-23, amendment number 22, an ordinance amending the budget to reflect donation and utilization of funds for Roderick Park benches.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman David Broussard and Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Any discussion on these benches? And I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Oh, you didn't clear it. Please vote your machines. Thank you.
Hold on.
Ricky Brown. Thank you very much. 4C.
Special ordinance number 2022-2023-24, amendment number 23, an ordinance amending the budget to reflect moving available funds to Pepperplex for purchase and installation of sign.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Yep.
Motion by Councilman by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, and I believe it was Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Any discussion on this item?
No, just follow my money,
Yes,
my
sir.
investment.
Yes, sir. I will. No discussion.
What's the timetable on it?
It's probably 4 to 6 weeks from the time we ordered it, and we just ordered it, so I'd say 6 weeks. It's coming though, it's coming. And I held it up till this is approved.
Absolutely.
I put the purchase order, they have the purchase order, but I won't sign it till tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Anyway. Anybody else? And, please vote your machines. Thank you. And our last thing on that, I'll be coming back to the office on electrical, but that's, one step at a time. 4D.
Special ordinance number 2022-2023-25, amendment number 24, an ordinance amending the budget to reflect actual contract for Acadian Acres Detention Pond.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second?
Motion by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Is there any discussion on this item?
So according to,
Yes, sir.
according to the budget, we 650,000 on infrastructure.
Acadian Acres?
What was-
No, the whole project is.
Yeah, right.
3 million?
3 million, the whole project.
Yes. Yes.
So what's the
ma'am.
next step? Like after this?
Well, once you give me this, well, then I'm all squared up. We bought the property, the engineering, we signed the engineering contract. This is the last step, and then they'll work on the engineering. Once they've gotten that all worked out, then it's the public bid process.
Okay.
So it's that normal, we don't really have the state to fool with. It's not like we have to go through facility planning. I don't believe, because that's not where we got our money.
No.
So that's a couple of steps that we save, because, as you know, I mean, we're very grateful for the money we get from the state, but facility planning adds months to the process.
Okay.
But, they probably have 4 months, 5 months of engineering, by the time they finish the whole
Okay.
contract documents and everything. And then you got a 45-day advertisement and the bid process. And then after you get a contractor, you gotta ratify him, and, I have to check his bond, his insurance. We gotta make sure that, all the bids come in and they meet everything. That's another usually 45 days before they start, so it's coming.
Okay.
But,
It's a long time coming. I'm just asking because
It
I know
is.
it has been a long process and you
Well,
have to go through all
I've
kinds
been here
of.
6.5 years, and that project was designed 10 years before I got here. So that is a long time coming.
Right, absolutely.
Yes.
I'm glad to see
we have
some
to start-
movement.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, hang on.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna have to install new infrastructure to connect to the existing drainage system, correct?
We're going out to M10. The M10
Right.
is existing, so that goes to Bayou Teche. That gets us there. We're gonna have some new pipes that have to tie into some existing pipes that are stubbed out at Acadian Acres. Plus, we have to run some new pipes. In addition to that, we have to take all those poles down, all those nets down from when it was a driving range, and we have to create, and it's either probably part detention, part retention pond. One holds water, one drains out. Depending on the elevations, I don't know, I would hope and would love it to be just a detention and not a retention pond, but I'm not positive yet, and neither are the engineers until they run all the, the grades and see how the flow's gonna be. So it's a process, but yeah, a lot of work. Sure.
Are we gonna have to fence this in from liability reasons, or we can leave it open?
Depends on if it's a detention or
Right,
a
that's what I'm-
retention.
that's what I'm asking.
Well, I can't give you that answer yet.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of fenced in a little bit already.
Yeah, some of it is.
But
some
not
of
like
it-
super
No,
close. It's like a
It depends what it
wide-
is. If it's,
Right.
Yeah.
if it's a retention, you will.
Yeah.
In detention, no. That's why I want to ask.
No, and one of the reasons I'm hoping that it can all run out. Anybody else? And please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Resolutions, 5A.
Resolution number 23-69, approving certificate of substantial completion for the American Rescue Plan Act project entitled Purchase/Installation of Oil/Water Separator, and further authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman David Broussard and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Any discussion on this item? Yes, sir.
I took a ride out there. It really came out nice. I think it's a huge asset to the city.
Long time coming, and we have needed it for a
Very,
little
very
while.
clean looking facility. I think it's gonna be well used.
Yep, it's needed for sure. Anybody else? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. 5B.
Resolution number 23-70, authorizing the mayor to negotiate and sign an agreement between the city of New Iberia and architect Paul Allen for professional services for the Ann Street Park project, FP&C number 50-ML1-1-22-03, all contingent upon approval from the Louisiana Office of Facility Planning and Control.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Marlon Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter. Thank y'all. Is there any discussion on this item? One of the first new parks the city will build in a very long time. Yes, sir.
I was just gonna say, I don't know what questions Dee Dee would have asked, but I'm sure she would have had some.
She would have, sir. Yes, she would.
We can pretend.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, she won't know about the budget. She won't know about the budget, but we're not there yet. We just designed it.
Yeah, it's just.
But, no, I'm excited about this. When you go down Ann Street, the city of New Iberia does not have a presence. There's no park, there's no city facilities, there's no signage. I think this is the first step to, embrace the neighborhood and do something that's really needed. So I'm excited about it. I mean, we put it on the corner that it's on, has, had some history. Some has been good, some has not. This is uplifting that we removed a house that was vacant. We bought the property. That little corner area, there's an abandoned store across the street. It's needed. And so I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna, add to the community and make a really nice little neighborhood park. Yes, sir.
No, I'm just.
And Mayor, no, and all jokes on the side, I want to commend Councilwoman Dee Dee Johnson in her absence in pushing this project forward and spearheading this project, coming up with an idea and all of that good stuff.
Definitely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Good. Yes, ma'am.
It'll be nice to have a positive change in that area, especially on that corner.
Yes, ma'am. That, I couldn't agree more. And it's gonna be nice. It's gonna have a fenced in, the whole park will be open and closed every day, which I think is important. It's gonna be a basketball court, some exercise equipment, and some playground equipment. So it kinda hits every segment of, the community. And, like I said, I think it's gonna be a positive impact. Anybody else? I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Somebody text Councilwoman Dee Dee Johnson-Reed and tell her about it. We're gonna have to do that. 5C.
Resolution number 23-71, approving certificate of substantial completion for the Civic Center Marina, Phase 1, and further authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, and a second by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. And let's see, we have Paul up here.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Freddie and council. So the project is substantially complete, in our opinion. Coastal Timber did a great job on the construction of the dock wharf facility. We recently had U.S. Wildlife and Fisheries and State Wildlife and Fisheries visit the site. We probably had about 10 different people involved in those agencies. And they came down and visited the site. They were very excited to see the construction near completion. My hats off goes to Coastal Timbers for the excellent job that they did. Craig Michael, if you could pass that on to your dad, that'd be wonderful. Tell him he did an excellent job. But the facility is in three parts. This is Phase 1, which is the center part, which takes care of the accessibility, the signage, the ramps, and the facility is entirely handicap accessible. We only had a couple of small items on the punch list for the contractor to take care of, and in fact, those items have been taken care of. We're ready for substantial completion on this portion of the project. There's 3 parts, so this is the
Yes,
first
yeah,
part.
Yeah, we're doing all 3. Any questions, comments?
Franklin,
Sir.
Franklin, we catching up with them from the courthouse and back of the courthouse.
It's very nice. They have a really nice
Long
facility.
about for 3 or 4 blocks.
Oh, yeah. I'm friends with the
Yeah,
mayor,
they're
and
almost-
they have done a really good job. And
Really
we're,
nice.
we're actually talking about partnering and looking at how we could advertise together.
Across the
and-
bayou, the same thing.
Hmm?
So we complement that area.
Good. Yes, sir.
Oh, so when you say phase 1, what we're seeing in back the courthouse existing now is phase 1?
3 phases.
It's
Yeah,
it's
good.
just the center part we're looking at?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll do
we-
all
we-
3 of them
the-
tonight.
State of Louisiana Wildlife
broken.
Just
Commission
trying to see where it's broken up at.
wanted us to divide the project into 3 separate components.
Okay.
And that's contractually how we had to handle the set of projects.
And when they-
Although it was bid under one contract, there were 3 separate parts to the contract. And that's the way they wanted to,
Well, when they give you grant money and tell you, that's all we could do with the grant money, but when they give you grant money and you say you're gonna do what you want, you do it the way they want, so.
They built it in contingency altogether, so, but you have to divide it, I follow.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right,
And keep
exactly,
our costs separate and,
correct.
Got you.
but you just say yes, sir. Anybody else?
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Then I'd ask you on this one to please vote your machines. Thank you, and now we move on to phase 2. 5C. Oh, 5D, I'm sorry.
Resolution number 23-72, approving certificate of substantial completion for the Civic Center Marina Phase 2 and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Okay, Councilman Marlon Lewis and Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Is there any discussion? This is the second section. Any discussion on this?
Man, all I'm gonna say, that is a beautiful asset to our city.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be.
Beautiful, beautiful asset to our city.
It's gonna be. We have 100 boats coming in July or August for the Fête de Teche, where they go from Franklin to St. Martinville. And because we have this new facility, it's gonna be 100 boats. They're actually gonna get out and I think go to St. Peter's Church here, which hadn't been done before. And then we're talking to some boat show people. And another little deal, there'll be a combination of antique boats and antique cars in the park. And it's just gonna open up all of our festivals. We used to have a lot of boat parades. I'm hoping that comes back. And then the combination of this, the kayak dock, and Felicity's Landing that's coming is gonna give us the opportunity to get a tour boat. And I'm already kind of talking to some small little operators just to see, I mean, it's another tourist opportunity, so, you know, it's an odd thing, I admit it. You know, when I got here 6.5 years ago, I never thought we would do that, and then when I saw no one applied for the money and saw that we could, you know, take a little gamble, but I think it's gonna be worth it because of the bulk of it was all grant money. So it's gonna add something interesting that, you know, we haven't had before, we just, you know, community's gonna have to embrace it, but, I think it could be good for all of us.
And I want to segue back on Freddie's remarks is, there are magazines nationally published that talk about the intercoastal waterway as a highway for boat traffic and people who have RVs take interstates, but people that have RV-type boats take the intercoastal. So it's kind of important, and what marketing Freddie's talking about doing is to show how you can get from the intercoastal waterway to the Bayou Teche safely. In other words, maneuverability of bridges, contacting bridge openers, depths of water, all that kind of stuff, putting GPS marks on there. Those people who travel on those very expensive boats need to know that. And if you do market it, you have an opportunity to pull the people off the intercoastal and bring them into New Iberia. So it's designed for that.
Anybody else? And I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. I got one more to go. 5E.
Resolution number 23-73, approving certificate of substantial completion for the Civic Center Marina, CVA, and further authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, a second by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Any discussion on this last piece of the marina? We kind of already talked.
They are connected.
Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. All right, thank you, Paul. Oh, and Paul, I have to say, the pressure washing that you sprung for, all of that concrete back there, they did it today. It looks great. It really did,
Wonderful.
really brighten that up. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
They would've told
Yes.
you.
So look, you know, don't alleviate yourself from compliments. You complimented Craig and them, but want to compliment the architect for that design. It's really good job on that architecture.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And I do want to compliment Chandler Staples, who did a great job
Well,
structurally.
there you go. I mean,
Yeah.
we need to compliment everybody involved.
There you go. And the council for seeing the project through and the mayor, and so.
Okay, 5F.
Resolution number 23-74, authorizing Mayor Freddie DeCourt to sign the fiscal year 2023 application packet from the State Revolving Loan Fund wastewater facilities through the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ, for the City of New Iberia's wastewater department.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Marlon Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Is there any discussion on this item? This is that low-interest loan.
Right.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is the thing we've talked about previously. Okay.
Seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Oh, now we need to do an expansion so that our double department heads can leave after this. Because normally we do our expansions at the end, but they requested that we do it now, so I figured that game out. Madam Clerk?
Expand the agenda to discuss the following item. Number 1, resolution number 23-92, authorizing the mayor to purchase a tandem axle dump truck on behalf of the City of New Iberia wastewater department, and further authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
Okay, so our first vote, I
Oh,
would.
wait,
Oh,
I
I'm
gotta
sorry.
read this.
Oh, sorry.
The purpose of this expansion is to expedite the purchase of this truck as it is urgently needed, and the vendor only has one vehicle left that meets the specifications needed by the wastewater department.
Okay, so now you know the reason for expanding, so my first vote has to be, I need a motion, and we vote that you allow the agenda to be expanded.
I move to expand the agenda.
I second it.
Okay, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, and a second by Councilman Marlon Lewis. Is there any discussion on expanding the agenda? None, then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Good. Now we need to have a public hearing, correct? Okay, you got anything to read for that? Okay, so now I need a motion to do a public hearing on this item.
Motion to open public hearing.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Marlon Lewis and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas for a public hearing. Okay, is there anyone from the public to comment on this item? Don't see any, don't hear any, so now I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So
Motion.
moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte, thank you. Now we need a motion and vote on the item, on the resolution.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion by,
Oh, chance.
barely heard it, by Councilman David Broussard and a second by Councilman Marlon Lewis.
Couldn't get it out.
I hear you. So, any discussion? With no discussion, I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Great, so we get a dump truck, and look, the purpose of this, it's on, state contract. There's only, certain ways that we have to do business, and if we blow this one, it starts the whole process over. So I'm very glad that you pointed that out, and so we get a dump truck, and, if y'all want to, you don't have anything else on the agenda, y'all get to leave. Thank y'all very much. Okay, where are we? 6A? Item 6A.
Introduction of special ordinance number 2022-2023-26, amendment number 25, an ordinance amending the budget to recognize the awarded LGAP funds and appropriate the use of said funds and setting for public hearing on July 5th, 2023.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Marlon Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Is there any discussion on this item? Mowers in the truck, right? And these are buying, this is the LGAP money that we get every year. I want you to know everything we're doing. This buys 2 lawnmowers and a truck. Any discussion? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. Okay, now we move to property standards, and we have quite a few of them tonight. So we'll begin, 7A.
Resolution number 23-75, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 1525 Montaigne Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG clearance program grant application contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter, and a second by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. And let me just say that all of these, we are applying for a grant, and that is why we have so many tonight, and we have a deadline, so we need to be prepped for that. And on all of these, no one pays if they're accepted. If they meet all our criteria, if the titles are clean, and we can proceed with them, you know, we're good, and we get the money, and we get to tear them down, and for once, we can give people a break that they're not paying to have to tear this down. But it has to meet the criteria, but this is the first step, is to compile a list. Okay, so how are we gonna do these? Jeff, do you wanna talk about each one, or does Jimmy, or what are we doing?
Well, we have a resolution for each one, and then I've got some additional information that I've numbered over here, just giving you the background of the property and the owners and stuff. The whole idea behind this is it's not an adversary thing. These people are gonna
Correct.
have to come forward and agree. So, you know, it shouldn't be controversial. We need to have, you know, the inspector tell us that this needs to come down. And we can talk about who owns it, we can talk about what we might need to get done, you know, to get this finished, but I guess we take them up one by one, right? Yeah, okay.
So, question.
Yes, sir.
So Jeff, so once we approve them, then we go out and find if they meet the criteria, correct? Or have we preliminary?
Started.
Or if we preliminary saw that they meet the criteria to make
Well,
it the agenda,
I think they meet the criteria in that they need to come down.
correct?
But some of them have some liens on them, some of them have some signatures we gotta get, you got multiple owners on some. You know, we don't have what Marlon calls grandma's house, except on a couple of them, but we have that too. So some of these, they're gonna be difficult to get signed up. But, you know, I think one of the deadlines that we have is we have to approve the list. So this is the first group for the list, and we can take more. We can take more, but we just want to get the flag planted on these so we can meet our deadlines.
And we have a minimum. If we don't have enough, we can't get the grant.
Yeah.
Does this meet our minimum? Asking.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. I think we're waiting on a few commercial properties that if those came in, we'd be over the top.
Yeah.
But that is something that those owners have expressed an interest, they've called, but they haven't come and finished anything, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And,
So
and,
hopefully they will help us meet that deadline, but
Yeah.
we have to have $150,000 minimum of, you know, demos, and we're not there yet. But like I said, one of those commercials come through, I think we will be.
yeah. So if you folks, if you know of anything,
Well, yeah, this is the
let us
time.
know.
Yeah, yeah. You're never gonna get this for free again, and if you have a property that is, you're not gonna do something with, and it's that dilapidated, and you can't sell it, this is your shot, you know? Okay, so,
Mayor, just a quick question.
Sure.
Do the families of some of these homes, do they have to attend council meetings in this manner or no?
We're gonna have an agreement for them to
they
sign.
have to sign something, but I don't think it's like when we're grilling them and saying, what are you gonna do with this property, when are you coming back? It's not adversarial, so it's none of that kinda, you know,
We
situation.
don't,
It's basically, because there are people in the public, here from the public today that kind of wanted that question answered. And I
yeah.
don't want to leave them hanging.
Well, no, I don't blame them. Yeah, but it's
so-
not adversarial. It's not like normally, you know, people watch our meetings and see when we demo something, and then we give people another chance, or we're like, what is your plan? We'll give you 30 more days, come back. It's nothing like that. In other words, if they have a property that they want to get rid of, and they have a clear title, and, you know, Jeff sees that that is clear, they're gonna sign a paper, but that's really it. They're not gonna have to keep coming back.
I want to correct you.
Huh.
Not property, a structure.
Structure, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
structure.
yeah,
Okay, you're right.
Structure.
Yeah.
They still keep their property.
Yes, of course they do.
But the structure goes at no charge.
Right,
If we get the grant.
right.
That's important.
But it's not that they have to keep coming to meetings and, you know,
Right.
do anything really, except give us the permission to do it.
give us the permission to do it.
Yes.
Because they want it torn down, and we have this program,
Yes.
but again, we have to meet that number of homes that meets the $150,000.
Can be homes, can be commercial, so I mean, it's, you know, and we really have never had this opportunity. It's a brand-new program. This is a pilot program by the state, so we have never been in a situation. The only reason we can is because we have been tearing things down, and we had an existing compliance program. Because other communities would like to get in on this, but they didn't have what we have. You have to have, you know, one of the requirements for the city to get in is that we were already doing this.
And so is it fair to say that the constituents, the public that agree to do this, they are being good stewards and being partners of the city in doing
Oh,
this?
100%. We couldn't do it. We can't do it without them because we don't own the property. So they get a pat on the back for helping, and then they get their property cleaned up. It's a good partnership, you know. And look, I love city government. I love my job, but it's not often that you get a positive partnership when you're talking about compliance issues of grass cutting or buildings or those kind of things. So this is, I'm gonna celebrate this. These people are gonna get an award. I mean, I think this is something that is a real positive, as you said, a partnership.
And more importantly, it doesn't go on their property taxes.
Nope.
And they don't lose their property. It's just.
Exactly.
it's
And now they
designed-
have a clean lot that they can either build something, develop, or sell, or whatever. I mean, it's no strings, you know.
Now, one more question.
Sure.
Jeff said something about if they don't have any liens. This question is for
Yeah, that's a Jeff question.
Yeah, we, some of these properties, there are a couple properties that have mortgages on them.
okay, those kind of, okay.
Yeah, and that, you know, we'd have to go to the bank and get them to release the improvements because the mortgage attaches to the building, and, you know, this bank, I think the one we're dealing with is gonna be pretty easy to work with. Some people have some old judgments against them, child support, things like that, so bail bonds, you know, a lot of those I think can be canceled. But whenever you have a piece of property and somebody has a mortgage or a lien on it, that somebody has an interest in the property too, and they need to be included. So, you know, these things look like we can work them out. I've got those things listed here, and we can work with families, you know, on some of these things to help them get stuff cleared, which is, you know, what I kind of do a lot in my day job, so, yeah.
And how about liens from the parish and from the city?
Well, now, you got some tax sales that we need to deal with, but this particular group, I don't think we got a lot of bad stuff here.
Good.
And some of these are tornado damage. So until recently, they were nice properties. You know, some of these haven't been nice properties in a long time. But, it's kind of a mixed group, but I've got notes on these. We can go through them, and I can quickly
Okay.
tell y'all about my homework on each
Okay.
one.
What's the deadline to turn in addresses?
Soon, yeah.
I'll try to get some more tomorrow, because there is several on Jane Street
If-
that are in bad condition.
Yeah, if you do, try to get a copy of the tax notice,
Okay,
because some of those properties, you know, the taxpayer listed is gonna be 100 years dead. So, you know,
We have a few of them.
we got a few of
Okay.
those that go way back.
okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
Only another week or so. Yeah, like a week.
Okay.
So you gotta meet the 150 and within a week, you think?
We gotta work on that one big
Yeah,
project.
with the one big one, we just got to get the guy to come in.
Is anybody,
We talked to him.
there's two.
Yeah, it's two people, but
Well, there's two big buildings.
yeah.
The second one is on, off of Robinson. The old Entex building,
Yeah, well.
but I don't know who owns it anymore. I've lost.
Okay, give me the address,
Okay,
dig it out.
I'll get it to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a motion and we voted on 7A.
No, we
No.
We
didn't.
didn't vote yet? No. Okay, so Jeff, you want to tell us about it?
Well, this is tornado damage, and this is, you know, commercial property. It's got a mortgage on it, it's got an assignment of leases and rents, which is another kind of lien in favor of a local bank. We would need to get that released by the local bank, which, you know, if it would improve the property, they'd probably go along with it. We have an owner that's a limited liability company. I don't see a problem otherwise, so I think we ought to approve it on the list.
Okay.
And, you know, taking one doesn't mean you don't take another, because we got plenty of capacity
Oh,
here
yeah.
to add more,
Well, we
so
could go up to $500,000.
these do
So,
not compete against each
Yeah,
other.
nobody's in yeah, we won't reach a $500,000, so nobody's in competition.
No.
Okay, any discussion on this one? No discussion, vote your machines. Okay, preliminarily, that's the first step.
Okay.
7B.
Resolution number 23-76, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 1527 Montaigne Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter and, I guess Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Jeff, you want to tell us about this one?
Similar property, same owner. There are a pair of them.
Okay, any questions or comments on this one? If not, vote your machines. All right,
And let me say, some of these resolutions have picked up the tax assessments that include other properties, but the little notes have the particular properties listed, so.
Okay.
We'll do some clerical cleanup.
all right, thank you for that. 7C.
Resolution number 23-77, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 1517 Montaigne Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter and Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Jeff?
This is a pair of buildings, this C and D, owned by Art Shakesnyder and his wife. Art has died. He has an executor appointed, so I think we'll be able to get the right parties to sign when that time comes. And I think there's some tiny old liens on the property, $1,000, that we can probably get cleared up, but those shouldn't hold us up.
Okay. Any discussion? And I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. 7D.
Resolution number 23-78, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 1521 Montaigne Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter, Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Thank y'all. Jeff?
Similar thing.
Okay. Good. Any questions or comments? Then please vote your machines. Thank you for that. Moving right along. 7E.
Resolution number 23-79, a resolution declaring that the building or structures at 1210 Fulton Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Councilwoman
Second.
Brooke Marcotte and Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter. We did that in reverse. Jeff?
That's a single owner, lives in Arizona, and no liens on the property of record, so I think we can.
Okay, the only thing I want y'all to know, there's a trailer that's also on the property.
Okay.
There it is. And the whole.
Can we
the
get
whole-
that too?
So what do we do with
Yeah,
that?
We
it's
can get
all
that
on one
too.
property. We'll get
Awesome.
that too.
Good, good, good. Anybody else? Any other discussion? And please vote your machine. Great. 7F.
Resolution number 23-80, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 705 Anderson Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte and Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Jeff?
Wait, so this is 705.
Anderson. It says
Anderson?
Lombard, but it's Anderson.
It's
Okay,
Anderson.
all right.
Yeah.
All right. This is an estate property, there are 4 owners, and I think some of them are deceased, so there may be some successions, I think, that Laney said they're working on. This one, we'll have to get all the people, and they're not, there's one taxpayer listed on the bill always, but then if you look at the detail, there are 4 of them. And those are the ones who own, no liens on the property, but we do have some unfinished estate business. So we'll see if they can do this.
All right. Questions, comments? And please vote your machines. Move on to 7G.
Resolution number 23-81, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 704 Corriger Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
Looking for that motion.
Motion.
Okay, well,
It's whatever.
Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter, and I don't know who was second. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Jeff?
Same family, different property, same issues.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Next slide, I think it's the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is
Yeah.
the wrong one. That's 7
Okay. Questions, comments? Please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 7I.
H, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, H. Jumping.
Resolution number 23-82, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 702 Buckeye Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
Motion?
Motion.
No, I'm looking for a motion.
Second.
That's funny. So we have a motion by Councilman Marlon Lewis and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Jeff?
Yeah, this is the Thompson family, and we should be able to get those signatures.
Okay,
There are no liens on the property.
good.
Yeah.
Questions, comments? Then please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Now we go to 7I.
Resolution number 23-83, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 814 Field Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Broussard, David Broussard, and Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Jeff?
This 814 and 816 are both on the same piece of property. So they're listed separately here, but I've got notes that combine them. Single owner, I don't know of any issues with this one.
Okay. Questions, comments? Please vote your machines. Okay. 7J.
Resolution number 23-84, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 816 Field Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
Looking for that motion.
Move.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and Councilman Marlon Lewis. Thank you. Jeff?
This is just the brother of 814,
Okay,
same owner, same thing.
good, good. Questions, comments? Then please vote your machines. Moving to 7K.
Resolution number 23-85, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 511 Emory Lewis Avenue are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the city of New Iberia.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Marlon Lewis and Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Jeff?
This was in a list of properties this fella put up for a bail bond, so that's probably gonna have to be cleared. But, you know, usually we can get those things canceled.
Okay.
So we'd have to do that, but this is the same owner as I and J.
Okay,
But this one he put up, he didn't put up the others.
gotcha. Questions, comments? Then please vote your machines. Thank you. 7M.
Resolution number 23-86, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 1209 Jane Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the City of New Iberia.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Councilwoman Brooke Markcott.
Second.
Second, Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter. Thank you.
No one lives there, huh?
No.
Okay, just making sure. Because sometimes it looks like new things pop up there. I pass there frequently. So, okay. It's good to know.
No.
No one legally lives there.
That house been abandoned for years.
Long time.
But then there's some, like just a few over that, to me, look worse.
Right.
They ain't bad as shit, it's bad as
But
shit.
those are the ones I'll get you the addresses. I think I turned them in probably whenever I first started, and I don't know what happened with them. Maybe the owners just
Yeah.
weren't on board. I don't know.
Okay.
We could try again.
Okay, Jeff?
This one I think is gonna be tough to get. The fella bought it at a tax sale. And the previous owner who he bought it from bought it in 1907. So we got probably all kinds of owners who own it subject to the tax sale. Now, he didn't buy it through Civic Source, he just bought it on the courthouse steps. Usually, people who buy properties and loan money on properties don't do that with tax sale properties unless there's been a suit to quiet the tax title, which he hasn't yet done. That can't be done for 5 years after the tax sale. So this one might not be possible. Please approve it, and then we'll see what we can do.
Question,
And-
comments?
And the correct description is what's on here, because there was a little confusion
Okay.
about the assessment.
Questions, comments? Please vote your machines. And that's an example of what happens sometimes why they never get done.
Yeah.
You know.
Red
Yeah,
tape.
They're
Yep.
they're just out of commerce, yeah.
Yeah. 7M.
Resolution number 23-87, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 1205 Field Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the City of New Iberia.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Marlon Lewis and Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Jeff?
This looks like a couple, looks like they're living, no liens. This one looks like we can probably get it done.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Yeah, well,
Yes,
I
sir.
think his wife is deceased though.
Oh, well,
His wife is
she
deceased.
is.
Uh-huh.
Good.
If you have contact information for him,
Yeah, Jimmy got his contact
I
information.
might, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Darryl Augusta, that's one of mine,
Yeah.
yeah. You need me to give you his cell number? I got a cell number, I can get it to you after the meeting.
Yeah, because we might, it could be simple, could be
Uh-huh.
complicated, I just don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything further? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 7N.
Resolution number 23-88, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 415 James Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the City of New Iberia.
Motion?
Motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, and the second, Councilman Marlon Lewis. Jeff?
This one, they recently did a small succession affidavit and got their stuff straight, so, this looks like brother and sister who owns this property now.
Okay, good. Questions, comments?
I'm just trying to figure out where James Street at, it's got it in my head.
It's off, between Calhoun and, Mary.
Okay, gotcha. Very familiar with it.
I think that's Dee Dee's district.
Part,
I need to perpetuate.
depends on which side of the street
Yeah,
it's on.
didn't,
Could be yours.
It could be mine.
If you go on the Amador, it's on the left.
Okay, any comments, questions?
That's Dee Dee's.
Then, please vote your machines. Seven oh.
Resolution number 23-89, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 707 Corriger Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the City of New Iberia.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Marlon Lewis, Councilwoman Brooke Morcott, thank you. Jeff?
This one was only acquired in 2019, but there's some liens. There are 2 child support judgments, and there's another small judgment. So we'll see if those things are paid and can be canceled. But
Questions, comments? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. We go to seven P.
Resolution number 23-90, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 644 East Pershing Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the City of New Iberia.
I need a motion.
Move.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and Councilwoman Brooke Morcott. Thank y'all. Jeff?
this is the Simmons, James Simmons and Wanda Simmons. It looks like both of them are deceased. And I picked up an obituary for a child who's deceased. So this is going to be a difficult one.
That was the family that was here,
Okay.
brother and sister?
Yeah, I think they're more than them.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
If you give me the number, I can give them a call and find out what the story is. But this, yeah.
Yeah, she stopped me before the meeting, that's why I kind of brought it out, and I didn't understand what she was asking me.
Well, James and Wanda purchased the property in 1951.
Okay.
And I ran their names in the records and they're clear, but I did check just Google for obituaries, and I found James Jr., I think it is, or another
He was
son.
here tonight.
Yeah. Well, there's another brother who's deceased, and it said he was, he's survived by so-and-so, and he joins, his parents, James and Wanda. So I think these guys are deceased. But, so,
Anybody else? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you for that. And now seven Q, our last one for tonight.
Resolution number 23-91, a resolution declaring that the buildings or structures at 812 Jefferson Street are in a dilapidated and dangerous condition, and further authorizing its inclusion in the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG Clearance Program grant application, contingent upon property owner verification and execution of a demolition agreement with the City of New Iberia.
Looking for that motion.
motion.
Second.
Councilman David Broussard and Councilwoman Brooke Morcott. Thank you. Jeff?
this really shouldn't be 812, because 812 is actually next door, and it's got a slab on it, but it's pretty much vacant, owned by the same owners. But this property is a big piece of property on Jefferson, and it's got a number of things on it. So I don't know, can we do vehicles of any kind? I mean, you got a trailer there.
Probably tag the vehicles.
Yeah, you got a bunch of stuff on that property, and
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one of my buildings I'm gonna have to go to Thursday.
Yeah, and there could be some surprises,
Oh, yeah, there are plenty of
in the woods back there, I don't know. But this is a fairly large piece of property, and the address is really just Jefferson Street. I don't think it's got a number. But I think we can get the agreement by the owner.
Oh, yeah.
They got a bunch of commercial properties. I don't think that's the issue. But there could be several things involved with this one. And what we're gonna have to do in this agreement is we're gonna have to say, we have the right to clear off any of these improvements, and we're not responsible for any damages to vegetation, and we can take out what we need to, because, we don't want somebody fussing at us because we're taking out their landscaping like this.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Jim, is that near the homeless shelter? somewhere off in that area?
No, that's at the dead end, more toward Dale,
More toward there, okay.
yeah. You know
Gotcha.
what, it dead ends behind the sour gas?
Yes,
Yeah.
That's what
back
that
there.
is.
okay.
Good. Anything further? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And again, you know, we need more buildings, commercial, residential. This is your chance, and, you know, it's not gonna cost you anything, and it's not an adversarial situation. Man, please come forward. We have a week to go, and if we don't meet our minimum of 150,000, then we're not gonna get anything.
The bigger the fish, the better.
Yep. Agreed. All right, Councilman's remarks. Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte.
Okay, I just want to let the public know that the Little Free Food Pantry is up and running on Santiago Street. It's in the Pocket Park over there. If you want to donate non-perishable food items, you can, or if you need anything, you can go and grab whatever you need. And that's it.
Thank you.
Mayor, I know this weekend there was some very nice Juneteenth celebrations. You know, a lot of groups put things on, and you know, we kind of met like 2 weeks before Juneteenth. So, just want to thank those people for their service to the community. Divine Touch Ministries, so many people, GPAL, that group, so many groups I don't want to try to call and miss, which I've already did. But this weekend on Saturday, this Saturday, at Mount Calvary Baptist Church, June 24th, starting at 10 a.m., there's going to be it's a fun day and a giveaway. They're going to be giving away furniture, clothes, different things at Mount Calvary Baptist Church on Saturday, this Saturday, June 24th, starts at 10 o'clock, and it lasts probably until 2 or 3 o'clock. That's all I have.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Let's all say a little prayer for our submarine that's going to visit the Titanic, which I think should be left alone. People died on that thing years ago, and I believe they ought to have a quiet death fall into the water. Mr. Ricky, thank you for the sign at Pepperplex. It's in my district. Thank you, sir, for putting that $100,000 out of your share in there. I forgot you had did that. But, Mr. Mayor, that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, sir.
I'm good.
Okay, great, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to remind everybody about the 5K run walk. That's going to be Saturday, starting at Bank Avenue Park. Registration is at 7, and walk run begins at 8 o'clock. And following that, it'll be a health fair underneath that pavilion in the park. We're gonna be giving away hot dogs and drinks, beverages, so you can just come on out and get your blood pressure checked and get good information about being healthier.
You can treat me for heat stroke.
We have a water.
You gotta have a wet towel when you in at the
I'll be way behind you, but I'll be there.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Me, I got
Yeah, sure.
one more announcement.
Yes, of course.
On Thursday at the Masonic Lodge on Ann Street, this Thursday at 6 p.m., the Brothers Omega Psi Phi Rho Omicron chapter, they are doing a CPR training, and that's at 6 o'clock on Thursday at the Masonic Building this Thursday.
Good, thank you, thank you. Only thing I have is to tell y'all that July 4th is a Tuesday, so our next meeting will be on Wednesday, July 5th. So just, it's odd because we never meet on Wednesdays, but that's our next meeting, and with that, I'm gonna call for a motion to adjourn.
Come on.
Thank y'all.